Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Commons. I am LD Demola, and to my left,
Ike Onoha, House of Commons.
Pascal Atoma, House of Commons.
Enyo Suji, House of Commons.
Commons.
House of Commons. Yes, sir.
Today's episode, we usually say today's episode is short and simple. Today's episode is not. It's pretty specific, it's pretty broad, but we're going to try our best to get this in one episode. Are white women getting the best black men?
We really want to go there, bro?
Do we want to go there? We want
Yeah,
to go there?
yeah, we can go there.
Are
Wow.
white
We can go
women
there.
getting the best black men? I would like to start with.
No, don't start with me. Start with Pascal. Please. In a minute, too.
Okay, I don't mind. I'll go first. The topic is again, is white women getting the best black men in the society?
Are white women getting
Are
the
they
best?
getting, yes and no.
And I'm going to say this before we actually go into description. We can start however we want, whether it's in America, whether it's in the world, however you want to.
This is just white women getting the best black men, right? For me, I'm gonna say it this way. It's in some situations I would say yes. A majority situation, I'll give you an example. Most of our black brothers, once they start playing football or music or whatever they start doing, before they get up there, right, our black women are good enough for them. Before they get up there, the black women good enough for them. But once they get up there, a lot of our brothers find good excuses to say why they went over to the other side. And majority of them, when they go over there, they're good, the white woman will stay. Once they go broke, the white woman will bounce. And then when the white woman bounces, then they come back to our black sisters as they are trying to console themselves and go, oh no, I made a mistake and all that. But I say, I'm not racist. I don't have anything against whites. I have a lot of white friends. I've dated white before. So it's not like I'm saying that it's a crime to do it. But the one I don't like is the best of us, the most successful ones, going over to them. I don't like that one.
Got it.
Wow,
Okay.
okay. You want to go? You want me to go?
I can go.
Okay.
I think this is really interesting because I have a lot of like black African American female friends, and just black women as friends, and I don't know. I think a lot of it is I think in the 90s, maybe like in the 90s, like I think after OJ, I think people kind of started getting the point like maybe we need to go back home a little bit. But I think there's a reemergence of black men, like black men dating black women, but at the same time, I feel like there is I don't want to say a stigma, but there's a belief or stereotype about dealing with black women. That black women are difficult to deal with. That, and it may or may not be true, that if I go another route, it'll be easier for me to do what I want to do. And I'm not saying that I wanted to kick out my feet and not do nothing, but whatever dream or whatever goal I have or whatever life I want to live or whatever I choose to do should be a lot more respectful of that. And I think that when we look at us and our culture, Africans or African Americans or whatever, the woman a lot of times is very dominant, very strong. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that respecting space and respecting a man, I'm not saying that black women don't respect their men, but then I think that in this era, when you have an option for a man to have more space or have a certain type of look of how the relationship can look, they opt the other way because why would I do that if I can have this? And I feel like I'm at more peace with what I want to do. And this is definitely a generalization, but I think that for a lot of black men, they feel like, I don't even think it's a thought. I don't even think, and for some of them, it may be a thought. It may be very conscious. It may be like, I don't really mess with, I have friends that don't mess with black women at all.
Can I jump in?
Okay.
The question is, are white women getting the best of us black men, right? I'll say, and no. My answer is Y-E-S. Capital Y-E-S. Yes, they are. And you know the reason why? I'll tell you the reason why. White women are getting the best of black men because one, it's an institutionalized way of getting back at the black race, and I'll explain. Before I know you, you probably want to jump in and attack me, but I'll explain. You know why? You know what it is. Look at every successful. This thing started. The issue of white and black, started like way with our athletes, black football players, basketball players. It's a way of controlling resources, money, wealth. Because look, every black athlete that marries any race, when they divorce or when there's a breakup, who gets the bulk of the cheese, of the money, of the wealth? The woman. So it's a way that was designed to take back wealth from the black race. Somebody told me this. When they told me this, I was like, are you serious? When I started thinking about it, I'm like, wow, this is so true. Because these athletes are making a lot of money in football, basketball, every sport that is dominated by the African American. A higher percentage of them, who are they married to? And before you know it, there's going to be a divorce. Who gets the biggest cheese? The woman. That's the way of getting back the wealth from the African Americans back into the white race. Let me ask you, how many successful white women are married to black men? Almost none. We're not talking about successful now, I'm talking about wealth. I'm talking about people like what's the Paula Deen, like a Paula Deen type, having that kind of money, married to a black man. I don't know if I can name one.
Married is different.
Both the women and the men.
Dating is different than married.
Even white women that come from a certain family,
Exactly.
they will never marry a black man.
So you see,
If you're broke,
before I go even deeper into this, I know you guys are probably wondering why do I have my phone today. I'm not texting, guys. I'm not texting. I have my notes here because this topic is kind of bigger than at some level. So I have to point out, go to my phone and look at my notes to remember my thoughts. So that's what so to answer the question, yes, white women are getting the best of us black men.
okay.
And from my perspective, I'll say yes. And first I'll define what best is.
Yeah, that's
Basically, the closest to the resources. The black man who's the closest to the resources and who has the ability to bring in more resources. I'll say this. I know everything that we've said about the successful athletes and everything that we've said. I think the foundation of it, though, is a lot simpler than it looks. I don't think there's anything that's ever been marketed better than the white race. I believe.
Can you say that again?
I don't think there's ever been anything that's been marketed better
deep.
than the white race. Because before we talk about our athletes or our black men going and dating outside our race, white women, what are black women usually doing to themselves as black women?
Trying to be what? Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to
Be what?
bleach
Yeah.
themselves.
There's weave.
Hair, for example.
There's bleach. There's a lot that we do to ourselves first. And as black men, in order to get closer to the resources, what do you have to do?
Yeah.
Work harder.
You cannot be
And-
black.
No, yeah.
You cannot
okay, go in that direction. I thought you were
Exactly.
gonna say-
This goes.
hold on.
I just want to say. This goes back to what I was saying before about how black women, when they go for job interviews, they have to change their hair, they have to take out their braids, they have to put straight hair,
So
because they can't get the job. They don't do that.
I didn't know exactly what I used to hear a lot of people argue about. What does being black even mean? What do you mean I'm trying to be black? I think now I get a better perspective of what being black is. There's actually something as being black. And getting closer to the resources in the United States of America, in the world,
You have to
It's
get
not
away
black.
from being
Yeah.
No,
because
I disagree with that.
okay, let me get to my point, and I want you to counter that.
Okay.
Right? Also, we both went to high school together. This just goes back to the marketing, right? I keep saying we went to high school around the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I went to high school in the United States of America, Nelly was popular, 50 Cent, any
Yeah.
basketball player, Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant, the
Yeah.
ballers, right? I used to play Pokemon and ride a skateboard. I was whitewashed, right? Now, from my perspective, I was just being myself. I was just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
But there was a brand of black men black women had to date, right? If you're a black girl, your guy better look like this guy, because if he looks like this dude, if he looks like me or you, who ride a skateboard, then he ain't black,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, when a kid in high school who's being himself is getting that kind of push from a black girl, push away,
Yeah.
he's gonna gravitate towards comfort.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it was not the black girl who was accepting the guy who was going to class all the
It
time.
seems like the less accepting.
Exactly. And it's not the black girl's fault. It just goes back to the marketing of it.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a black girl who has family structure, she will be guided to the right black guy. But a lot of times, we went to high school,
Yeah.
it was not the case.
No.
So, before we even start pointing at the white women who are taking us, there's more, I think there's more of a going towards white women on our side.
Well, you know.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Let me come in to that. You said to be successful, to have access to resources, right? It's not being black. You said something like that.
Majority of the time.
Majority of the time.
Biggest percentage
See,
of it.
it depends on the mentality, on your background. So what I mean mentality and your background is this: we have black millionaires. We have black people who own money, right? We have black people, especially from Africa, right, who have never tested white money. Do you know what I'm saying? But they are multi-millionaires. You know that, right? So we have black people who have never tested poverty, but who are still black. The problem, I think, what is the reason why it's happening the way it's happening is because some people easily forget where they come from. Number one. Number two, some people want to feel like they want to belong, right? But what they forget is this. I'm going to use someone to make an example. Michael Jordan. He's my idol. You know I like Michael a lot. You know I defend Michael a lot. When I saw that Michael divorced his wife of many years, who had kids with him, right, and married a white woman, I wasn't happy. Not because I had anything against a white woman, right, but I was thinking, wow. So
But his wife of many years was still not black.
he was.
Juanita.
Juanita?
Juanita was not black. She was
wasn't.
Hispanic.
I don't think Juanita was black, dude.
You sure?
Yeah, she was
I
Hispanic.
don't know. She didn't look. She didn't really look.
Either way.
Yeah, go ahead, continue.
Can you check it?
Finish your story.
No,
but-
check
No,
it.
no, I'm gonna check while you're talking.
Yeah, because I thought she was black. Because
His
I
kids
saw
are
the,
black?
I saw the
Yeah.
kids. I thought,
Michael and mixed with the Hispanic will come out more blacker than.
No.
That's not
His
guaranteed
daughter
for
is
white
black
guy.
guy.
no,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
saw.
Or maybe that's a father he had from another marriage. But if it's Juanita,
Then
you're
that's
talking
what
about
we're
she's
talking about. Because his
Hispanic.
kids are
Are you-
black.
Those kids are pure black.
But either way, keep going.
Yeah, you know, so when I saw that, I wasn't happy. I'm going like, man, the woman that was with him when he was just a player, you know, he was just growing and he made all this name was the background, the rock, right? And now he owns an NBA team and he's gonna go and marry a white woman. I didn't like that.
Let me
right?
ask you a question.
I didn't like that. You understand what I'm saying? That's number one example. Number two example is this. The one that I think everybody should look at it. This one married a Spanish woman, right? Derek Luke. You remember Derek Luke?
Oh man.
When Derek was in Hollywood struggling before Denzel Washington put him in that movie that made him a Derek Luke, do you think he would have been able to get that Spanish woman that he's married to now?
No. But here's
No,
the thing.
right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this same struggling brother who Denzel will help to become a star, all of a sudden his brand of woman now is now.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
Am I
sorry,
making
sorry,
sense?
I don't
Yeah.
want to cut you off at all.
Yes.
I do want to ask him a question though. I'm sorry. You said something about we have a lot of black billionaires that have never touched white money. You said we have a lot of billionaires and successful. That's
Black
fine.
people
Cool.
from Africa who.
Let me ask you a realistic question.
Okay, go ahead.
Realistic question. Because the statement I made was that success has been marketed as
White.
yes. Now, from your perspective about those black millionaires that you mentioned, what is the percentage of those people who have not touched white marketing to become successful as black people? Realistically, what do you gauge the percentages? Because before you answer that question, let me give you these ideas. Number one, in Nigeria, there is Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, right? If I speak Yoruba, I think in Nigeria the most important thing for me to learn is Hausa and Igbo. You have to speak English to be qualified to even exist as a Nigerian. That's one. Number two, our beliefs. Our beliefs
most of our religion.
Majority of our religions, right?
Maybe not.
Another thing-
Maybe not Nigeria as a whole, but
Another
for the
thing,
most
what
part.
is considered affluent in our own society in Nigeria?
Oh, that's very true.
What is affluent? For me to take you seriously,
You have to be successful.
what is
What's
success?
look like?
Success.
95% of the time.
Money, money,
in
money.
Nigeria, success has to.
No, but what is it? What is
That's not
what is it linked
In
with?
Nigeria,
That's not true.
if you don't have money, you
That's
say
not
successful.
true.
What?
That
In
is not
Nigeria.
true. Of course you have to have money to be
Which Nigeria
successful.
are you talking
But
about?
you cannot be un-English, un-degreed in Nigeria and have money and be respected. Tell me I'm
Oh,
lying.
that's a lie.
Are you
that's a lie.
joking?
So, what was the question again? You
I'm
cannot
gonna-
be.
If they ask the guy,
No,
he's
no, no,
rich.
Did you hear what he said?
You can't be un.
If you're a rich
If you
person,
don't have a degree, right? And if you don't have, what else did you say? If
English.
you don't speak
Speak English,
English, and you are most,
No, not
most
not.
Hausa.
Well, let's finish it now.
Okay,
Finish what you
hold on.
said. Let's
He's missing the
let's not
point.
jump over the point.
Okay, okay.
He's missing the
First
point.
of all,
Okay.
you said if you don't have a degree and speak English, you will not be what?
I said, what is success considered in Nigeria? He said it's only money. I said, that's not true. We know the fact.
It's not only money,
No,
it's
no, no,
mainly
it's not
money.
only money.
Of course,
Mainly
yeah.
money.
mainly
If you
finances.
speak English,
What is the foundation?
if you speak
Who
English
do I
and have a
respect
degree
more?
and you don't have money, nobody cares about you in Nigeria. You kidding me?
If you like,
You're
Yes,
missing the point.
everybody has degree
You
walking
are
around
missing
2,
the
3, 4,
point.
5, 6
You are
degrees.
missing
Walking
the
around
point.
I just have no respect
you
because I
are
don't
missing
make
the
money.
point.
Are you
Let me
kidding
tell
me?
you something, Elder.
Look.
Let me tell you something. Nigeria for Nigeria.
Let's
No
not
matter no matter how many degrees you have, my brother, you don't have the changing.
You're missing the point. I didn't disagree
well,
about money.
let's not digress too
He's
much.
not, he
with the
doesn't
topic.
get it.
He's
It's all
not
good.
said
Let's not
that.
digress too much from
It's
the
all
topic.
good.
The topic
It's all
is
Okay.
the best part of black men being taken by white women, which I
Yes.
said yes, wholeheartedly yes to.
So
no,
you're
hang
saying-
on,
you're saying
hang on,
about
hang on,
affluence, okay.
hang on, please. Hang on. See, the part of your explanation that I don't really like or endorse or agree with you is that I don't care what anybody does when they have money or when they marry outside of their race. It's none of my, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Do what makes you happy. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. What I care about is the institution behind that. Because there's a lot beneath the surface. When you see a black man, like what we are saying, most of our people, when they get to a certain level, they marry from a different race. This institution behind it, this is what nobody is talking about. That is what I'm concerned about.
Can I answer
It's
that
a way of taking the wealth from the black race to another race. Because if Derek Luke, like you mentioned, divorces that girl, where does that wealth go?
Let me tell you this.
Hispanic race. So that is the institution that I'm concerned about.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you
Yes,
this. Let me tell you
yes,
this.
please.
Of course, we're black men, so we're talking the black perspective, right? But the fact of the matter is, the beginning statement I made, nothing has been marketed better than the white race, is when you go to China, it's the same thing. When you go to India, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So we're talking about it from a black perspective, but at the end of the day, success worldwide is white.
Yeah.
True. And you are right,
If you're
LD.
Chinese.
LD, you are absolutely right. So
Okay.
I guess the main thing now,
Anything linked
the
to
main-
whiteness.
Exactly.
Okay.
The main thing now,
It's
the
more
main thing
beautiful,
now is.
it's more successful.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, one second. The main thing now is we have to re-educate ourselves and decolonize ourselves and deslave ourselves from the way we think, because you are absolutely right. And that thing, what you just said, it's not even only in America. It's even in Nigeria, where we are from. If-
Repeat your sentence again.
I
please.
said we have to decolonize our thinking, decolonize our thinking, deslave our mentality, the way we see things, because that is what is affecting us. Like if I walk into a restaurant in Nigeria, let's take Nigeria because that's where we're from,
Yes,
yeah?
yes, yes.
With a white woman. I might have nothing in my pocket, but I'll get a lot of respect.
Do you know you just-
and a lot
you
of,
just agreed
a
with
lot
what I
of-
said.
I agree with what you said, though.
No,
yeah,
but there are levels.
There are levels.
Look, I'm talking about white girl and black man. We're not talking about degree now. It has nothing to do with degree. Look,
And it even has nothing to do with money now.
exactly. And if you have any amount of money with a black woman, I'll get more respect than you.
Yes, you
Because
will.
I worked with a white girl.
Yes,
People
you
look
will.
at me as successful and they will rest. They will like, oh God, hey!
Okay, but let me
That's
ask a
the
question.
thing.
Let me throw a wrench into this. The white women, they come after the most successful black men.
Every woman
That's
does
the
this.
question.
Okay.
Every woman does.
No, today, everybody, today our
women
concentration
does.
is on why
The white ones.
women. They come after the most successful black men. But the black men who don't have money, like those white women who don't have money, come after the successful black men. When the black men decide to go over, they go and get the white trash.
Not most times.
No.
Not
But-
most
but
times.
hold on,
Not
hold on,
most
hold on,
times.
hold on. You know why I'm asking this question, right?
Why?
How many very successful white women do you see with black brothers?
Well, that's the same question I
That's
asked
the question,
you,
right?
Shirley.
Let me ask you a second question. Let me ask you a second question, right? Have you ever seen a black brother without money, right, that's married into a successful white family?
That's
Let me say something.
First of all, I feel like you're like going on extremes. So it's like
Extreme?
from white. Well, you went from white trash to extremely successful. So there's no in between.
I see what he's trying to say.
I get what he's saying.
Okay.
I know what he's saying, but I feel like it's just a
which is a good point.
Yeah.
First and
And I think
foremost,
we've even talked
The
about,
white-
we touched about that.
trash term.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with. I don't think that's respectful. But either way,
Oh, why are you not
Had to
comfortable
clear
with
that.
that?
here's what I gotta say that that's just true. But here's what I'll say. I agree with what you're saying, but let me just paint a picture. The setting is a boardroom, right? The setting is a boardroom. There's something called trophy wife, right? As you move up the corporate ladder, a trophy wife is not black.
I wouldn't say it's not.
Hold on.
I wouldn't say
How
it's
can you
not black.
how can you sit
No.
here
I
and
don't
make that
disagree
statement
with that.
when the first
Do you know
lady,
what-
hold on, when the first lady of the United States of America
Do you know
is
what
black.
trophy wife means?
Okay, I know
She's
what
not
it
a
means.
trophy wife.
She's not a trophy
She's a wife.
Okay, but you see, she's a wife that can be a trophy wife too because of her level of
Do you get what I'm
commitment.
saying?
Yeah.
I get what
What-
you're
what-
saying.
A trophy stands in a space. Now, it goes back to the marketing thing I said, right? Let's do one thing first. A brother and a white lady can simply be in love. Let's just make that clear,
Yeah.
right? Another thing to keep in mind is black
Yeah,
ladies are coming.
that's what I really was trying
Yeah.
to say. That's what I was trying to say.
There's
That's
love
what I really trying to say.
involved.
Yeah.
There can be love
Yeah.
and there should be love.
Yeah.
And there is love.
Yeah.
But
But majority of the times I'm telling you, my brother.
let me ask you
love,
this.
bro.
Let me say
Which
something.
one
Let me
is
say
love?
something. You've seen Daddy's Little Girls. You seen that movie?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
A successful black woman is more common than a successful black man these days.
Period.
Truthfully, at this point, we can't even, ratio-wise, we can't even match them
Not at all.
at all. That's one. One thing that I will say, and I want to see if you guys would agree with this. I don't know if it's a fact or not, but I think because of whatever it's, colonization, whatever it is, I think of all ethnicities or races I've come across, white people are the most open. The most, like, there's nothing, if they're a blank sheet of paper, there's not that much written on them to define this is what you are and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, well, what's your
right?
point with that?
My point is this.
Which
Maybe
is what I
some
was
of the
saying
black
at the very
dudes,
beginning.
maybe some of the black dudes who go over to white women, that is the first time they can be themselves.
Yeah.
Well, you have a point. You have a point. It's just like
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense. But it's gonna
Which
drive
is
me
what
back to my
I
point.
just said.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question before I forget it?
Hold on. No, please. You know why? You know why I'm saying this? Look, why was slavery successful in Africa? Because our
Competition.
people aided it. The chiefs and the kings aided slavery. They made it possible. They gave people to the white men.
Not chattel slavery, but
They
yes,
gave
yes.
people access. They gave people as gift, as slave. They gave them access to come and take because
Yeah.
they got money. They got salt or whatever. They gave them salt and
They
took our
got
jewelry.
mirrors.
They gave them mirrors
Sorry.
and took our jewelry. They gave them slaves. They aided slavery. Okay. Now with this thing we're talking about, you know why I keep going back to this and coming back to this institution? That's the same mentality. The black men, even though they go for the beautiful whatever white men later in life, it still has to do with re-educating yourself and telling yourself, because even though nobody's forcing down this girl at you, but they've already affected your thinking, which goes to what you said, marketing. They've marketed that race better than any other race. That's why you
Can I say
you
something?
go
Can I say
for
something?
white
Can I say
person.
something?
Yeah,
Can I say
let me
something?
say something. I want to give you an insight. I want to show you.
There's something he's saying about when he said about marketing. When he talks about marketing the white race, this is why I said what I said in the beginning. He touched on how they're more accepting. The way the black woman is marketed also in America is not good. So the way they are perceived and they're put out there is also not good. So automatically,
Like
as a
that,
man,
that crazy show, Atlanta, whatever, where they have
They-
black men
people-
come and
That's
sing.
even too deep.
That's too, like,
You know,
Black
as a
men
kid,
come
I
and
used to
install
pray to
themselves.
God. I used to pray every morning.
That's-
After seeing Jerry Springer and Maury, I'm not even joking. I used to get scared. That is this what life becomes? Because all they marketed was broken
Trash.
black households.
Yes.
Yes.
Look at Maury.
Okay, but
You have a question,
Aldi,
Yeah.
have you finished?
I don't know. All I wanted to say,
No, let him finish.
all I wanted to say was the way they market black women makes a lot of black men look like, wow, I don't, you know, the way they market is like, you know, and the world starts to look at black women like, look, this is what it is, because people really believe what they see in media. People really believe what they see on Real Housewives of Atlanta. They really be like, so this is how people behave. So all day long they just hang around this thing and just eat
Yeah.
and just fight and just argue.
Yeah.
So when you have that vision of that, then the vision of white is like the opposite.
But do you know how deep what you're saying is, though?
Yeah, but
You know how deep
but
it
he's
is?
saying it to us.
I've actually talked to people daily that don't know that there's such a thing as just a black woman that's just a black woman.
No.
They believe that there's a package that comes with black women, which is anger, frustration, and just...
Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be
Hold
an awkward black girl?
Oh, okay, Aldi.
Why does it have to be the awkward black girl?
Yeah.
Okay, Aldi, let me ask you
You
a
see what I'm
question.
saying?
Right, who do you blame? Who do you blame when people sell their souls for money? I give you an example. That particular show, Atlanta, what is it? What
Real
is it?
Housewives of Atlanta or
Atlanta.
something. Or something.
How do you want people to respect you when the show you put up about black women and almost every black woman that I know, they love that show. It's a show that shows black women, mature black women, aged, right? Black women that can be ministers, right? Black women that can be senators, right? Come together, fight publicly, break their heads, snatch their hair, and talk trash and speak anyhow they want, right? Because they're paying them money. They're paying them money
And
to
people
sell.
want to
Hold
see
on,
it
hold on, let
too.
me
That's the
finish.
thing that's killing
Yeah,
me.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're paying them money to sell the integrity and respect of
Let me say
black
something
women.
to what you're saying, right? Let me say.
You-
I
that's what I'm
apologize.
coming
And I'll
from.
let you go. But because you brought that up, there's something important that I have to say about that specifically. Charity begins at home, right? I can watch 150,000 of those episodes. My sisters can watch 100 million of those, and it will not affect them directly.
They know what it is.
They know what it is because charity begins at home. One thing that I've noticed about the black race is that the media is the direct feed to most of our households.
Why?
Because our households sometimes are not as structured as they should be.
Okay.
Right?
Exactly.
So that show, right, should be just entertainment. That should be just what it is. But a lot of
But it has
times
to be boundaries.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
Charles
okay.
Barkley,
Can I-
when Charles Barkley said,
Can I-
"I'm not nobody's. I'm not your child's role model," and that was a big deal.
Okay.
I remember in the '90s when he said, "I'm not a role model
Well,
because I'm not supposed to be raising your kids.
Exactly.
right.
You
Well,
raise your own children."
He has a good point, and like Babayo, with the topic you brought up is also very good, and you kind of answered it though. You know, well, the media. See, it's a sad shame that the media is what raises our families these days. Kids come home, what do they watch? They start watching cartoons. After cartoons, you know, they grow up to teenagers. They start watching all these reality shows. They grow up to be adults. They watch all this. So TV is what raises our families these days, which is a damn shame. Look, recently I posted something on my Facebook wall about how do not believe everything you hear or see in the media, and there was a documentary about the riots that has been going on lately. How on all the media outlets, any riot that involved black people, they call them thugs. They call them they end up pointing fingers, say, where is the black leadership? There was Waco that about 20-something white people, or not white people, died in Waco. Waco was not a black riot. It was exactly. And that media never portrayed them as thugs. They said it was the riot went out of control. They never called them thugs.
Yeah.
They never pointed at the white leadership. There's nothing like a white leadership. But anytime it involved black,
They were not called gangbangers.
no, they were not called gangbangers. They were not called.
That's just white supremacy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the same media that's controlling everything
Can I say
female,
something?
which is
Can I
the
say
wife
something?
of
Are
Jimmy
you trying to
Martinez.
say? Are you trying to say it's the same media that is selling it to the black
Saying the
spouse?
same.
That the only thing you have to marry to actually be successful.
It's
not just
all
black
connected. It's all
Let's
connected.
not-
Let me just say
This
this.
is-
If you look at the Cosby Show, when the Cosby Show first came out, there were a lot of people that were happy that it existed, that we see a black family that is not traditionally seen, especially in that time.
Right.
But then there are people who are actually like upset. This isn't the
No,
reality
we used to see. Yeah.
in real life. Black people.
And I can understand that.
Black people were upset. Now this is my thing, which is why people still defend Bill Cosby, even though we know, whatever,
Right.
with his
Yeah,
situation.
that's not about
That's whatever. But because of the effect that imagery had on our society, that was the first time in United States American history
Right.
Oh,
that you
ever.
can see a black man
family
and a black woman.
successful.
The mom is a lawyer. The father is a gynecologist.
Right.
The kids are actually good
Successful.
kids,
Yeah. Right.
and they see it with their own two eyes. It became America's household.
Correct.
So when we talk about media, it's always been like this. So when you have something, it's when you have something like that that has an effect on these people. They know what they're doing.
But
They know what they're feeling.
Okay,
Hey,
no,
hey,
no,
okay,
no,
no,
I-
real quick, because of what you just said.
Yeah.
But see that media you talked about? That's Bill Cosby's. That show was one out of how many shows that was on in that era, and even now, how many black shows have we seen since Bill Cosby or close to that show?
Let me
Now see the
let me-
numbers,
let me add
see the
something,
media,
let me
see
add
the
something.
lopsidedness.
Let me add- Are you watching the news? You're watching the news, right? Do you see the number of people, the ones that are accusing Bill Cosby of rape? How many are black women?
Now,
Do you understand my question? How many?
I
are black
definitely see what
women?
you're saying. Also look at Tiger Woods. When
Okay.
Tiger Woods situation happened.
But
Okay.
Tiger said he's not black, right?
I don't know about that. But either way, let me ask this question. Let me ask this
We
question.
kind of went off a little
We
bit.
went off a little bit, but it ties in.
In a good way.
Now let me ask you this question. I know the last time I brought this up, you were like, whoa. There's also a sexual aspect to it.
Sexual aspect to it.
Let me hear what he has to say.
The word in the streets is that the Caucasian lady is more willing to be sexually
Dominated.
experimental.
Not dominated.
That's the one on the
Exactly.
street. I feel like that's changed though.
I think-
Not because I'm a hoe, but just because. Because I feel like that's changed.
So explain. Okay, so I just said
I feel like that's
the word
changed.
is
And
that
you know why?
compared to our black
Yeah.
sisters, you have more fun
When I was younger,
sexually with a white lady.
when I was younger, the word on the street.
Let's
was
keep it
that-
real. The one on the street says that they can give better head than.
Ah!
That's the one on the street, right?
Can I censor that?
Yeah.
Definitely being censored. That's being censored for
No,
sure.
what it says on?
It's being censored.
PG-13.
Are you kidding me? No, but go ahead.
No. But as you know, when I was younger, that was, and not even just that, they were willing to even do it because there was a time they were like, I'm not doing that with or whatever. I think because of lack of resources, that and lack of options, you can't afford to really be trying to be, having choices and like I don't want to do this. Don't. If you find something, you better do whatever you need to do to keep it.
Yeah, but that's one thing. Also, let me say this, and I'm talking from a Nigerian perspective. That was not part of our upbringing, right? We had family values, we had religion, we had things that was not the conversation. We've discussed the importance of it, right? And it could be actually true that because of the upbringing, right? We don't experiment like those who are more open, right?
That's true. That's
Okay,
that's,
second
that's
one-
probably what it is.
Another thing that I go back to is we mentioned the family structure. Now keep in mind this is just the percentage that this affects. I think a lot has to do with the way the broken home raises people.
People, yeah.
The broken home raises the black boy not to be like his father. The broken home raises
there's
the
no
black
father
girl
there in the
not
first
to
place.
trust the black guy because he's like them niggas, right? So the black girl grows up having to be strong because in the media you never really see a black girl marketed as cute or like you never. It's
Yeah.
always her shield that's
Yeah,
marketed,
exactly.
not her.
Her
She
essence,
likes,
her
you know,
beauty.
things like that. You know,
Okay,
so
well, that's why I said,
Well,
why
it's
does it have to be
changing,
an
though.
awkward
It's
black
changing.
girl? She can't
It's
just be a
changing,
black girl
and-
that just has her own
Right,
personality.
right.
Because there's already a stereotype of
Thank
what
God-
black's supposed to look like.
Thank God it's
Woman.
changing. It's changing, and thank God it's changing, and thank God for shows like this, like us, to talk about this and bring this
Amen.
out. Because, see, like we talked about Serena the other day. You know what happened? You know, I think you mentioned it. She won Wimbledon, and they called her
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of
Oh,
names,
yeah.
praising her
Animal.
talent and her gift and her skill. Now she's not looked at as a woman. They're saying maybe
But
she's not
isn't
the.
Serena
No,
dating a white man?
is she?
Serena is dating
I think
let me ask you this.
She
Okay,
dabbled before, but
no,
I
she
think-
is.
I think
She is.
she-
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Of course, of course.
Well,
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Hold on.
Right.
Let me ask you this though. At the level, how close she is to the resources.
Yeah, that's.
How many of her is she gonna see there
Yeah,
as
in
men?
her space.
Okay, so
Well, that's
Let's
well.
be
LD,
real.
Okay,
LD, keeping it real.
so
keeping it real.
Also, we did an episode. Hold up. We did an episode. Do you have to get away from black people to become successful?
Let's not go too far.
What?
Too far.
No, we can go there.
Let's go there.
What do you mean at a level? How many people?
At the level of
okay,
success
no,
she's
no,
at.
okay.
She sees people like come on and whatever. She's dating come on
That's
and
a lot.
come on,
Are you
and a lot of people on that level also come on. There are people on that level.
Okay, hold on.
A lot
The
of them.
white,
A lot of
the
them.
black.
I don't think you
Hold
understand what I'm
hold on. Annie, I understand what you're saying. Let me tell you what you're saying. You're saying that Serena probably is dating that white coach. Is it the coach or whoever she's dating? I know it's white, right? Because there's not a lot of black brothers at that level.
I didn't say that. I didn't say there's not a lot.
Okay, that's how many? You say how many?
In her circle.
In her
right?
circle, right?
That's not
So,
a reason
I-
for her to. That I
Okay,
think.
hold on.
It's not about a reason. You guys
How
are
would she
missing
do
the point.
it? Like, practically, how would she do it though?
Well,
Exactly.
Well-
Do you know she's the face of Wimbledon and maybe, number one, her dating a white person makes her more acceptable to the people who look at her every day.
Okay,
but
so
that's
let me
the thing with the marketing that you make.
I know. That's what I'm saying. How do you That's what I'm saying.
I think
We're not disagreeing with each other.
Can I just say one? Can I just say something?
We're all agreeing.
Let me just say one. Let me just say one thing.
Hold.
One thing.
Okay.
Chris Paul, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade.
Wade,
So there are men, black men, that are incredibly successful. That said, no,
I know with sisters.
we're gonna keep it
There's
on.
a. You didn't put
Can
it.
I say one thing about what you just said?
Okay.
I believe the reason why that is as solid as it is because there are people like Sean Corey Carter, Jay-Z. I think there are people who are now at those levels who are reminding the younger guys, it's important for you to understand the value of this lady.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then you just pretty much answered.
I think it's okay.
Hold on. You just pretty much answered what you said about Serena. How many people does she find on how level or where she's at now? So you answer the question. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Paul. Then look, it's a choice that Serena made. But also back to my earlier point.
That's another way.
It's a choice she made based on
An easier
these
choice.
people being marketed more than the African American race, the black race. So the root cause is always going to be there, but we have the power to rebrand ourselves, re-educate ourselves the way we think, whether to accept or not
I want to ask
accept.
a question. I want to ask a question.
Not accept.
I want to ask a question, right? I want to ask a question.
I don't know.
If Obama, if he was married to a white woman and he became the president, what do you think people would have been given as a reason why Obama became
They
the
said because
president?
he
You
was
want to know
married to a
what's
white
funny?
man.
You want to know what's funny?
I don't think he would have gotten elected if he had a white woman. He wouldn't have
I
got
don't think he
elected.
would have actually become president
No.
if he did.
So you don't think it would have been?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Exactly.
Well, I think- I'm not
It goes back to the boardroom.
So from
Yeah.
your,
It goes back to the boardroom.
So from
I'm
your
not
reason,
sure.
from you saying that Serena married, Serena is dating the white guy because there's not a lot of.
I didn't give a because.
Okay.
I said, you tell me.
I just don't-
A lot of over there. That means Obama would have said, okay, since I have a presidential aspiration, why don't I marry a white woman so that they will accept me up there?
Have you?
But again,
Yeah,
there's
someone asked-
another argument out there. There's another argument out there that said Obama would not have been a president if he was not mixed. There's another strong argument they're saying because he's not really
That's a whole
a
other
black
topic.
man.
Let's not go
You know?
too far into that.
But yeah, let's not digress into that.
Can I go back to
we
Serena
come
real
back-
quick? Can I go back to Serena
Oh,
real
are we
quick?
talking about-
Real quick, go back to Serena.
Okay.
Another thing too is you're talking about marketing. Isn't Serena from Compton, California? Isn't Serena? She what I'm coming from, where I'm gonna go to is this woman is the #1 athlete in America. Damn near the world.
Female.
No. Period.
No, she's not #1 athlete.
Who is above Serena?
They gave it to one girl as a boxer.
Yeah, I beg.
No, you're talking about Ronda Rousey?
I beg.
One that is a fighter.
I beg.
It's okay.
This is somebody that is
On that level.
untouched. How many languages does she speak?
Like 4.
I mean,
Okay.
it's just,
Okay.
you're not, which guy?
But guys, let's not label Serena as if this is a piece of a
It's
puzzle.
not about, yeah.
No.
Yeah, let's
it is
move on.
a psychological thing.
Let's move
I
on.
know,
It is-
but that's why I said, in a practical sense, which guy? That's what I'm trying to say.
That's exactly what I was asking.
In a practical sense, that's what I'm
Which
saying.
guy should Serena be married to?
No, in her space.
So she be-
And everything,
Why does he have to be-
everything, her
why does-
entity.
Why does he have to be someone in her space?
Well, first and foremost, the guy does play tennis. He is a tennis guy. So but either way, let's get back to the
It's a
point.
woman.
Let's get back to the point, please.
Are white women getting the best? You guys
Let's
want to
conclude, yes. Yes, please.
Are white women getting the best black men?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yes, they are. And they're doing it because of colonial mentality, because of slave mentality, because of people trying to think, oh, if I get with this white woman, I will look better, I'll fit better into the society. Because of people thinking, oh, marrying a white woman will make them, like Tiger Woods said, he's not black. Then he married a white woman, he saw the result of it. What am I saying is this: I think it's time for our black brothers to check very well, look very well before you leap. That's my conclusion.
Okay, my conclusion, I'm going to say that this thing is deep. First of all, white women are getting the best of our
Let me
black
finish
no,
before
no,
you go.
no,
Let me finish before I
yeah,
forgot
finish.
somebody that I should use
Finish,
for
finish.
example. Okay, I'll come back.
So I think, yeah,
By the way, if best is
are-
resources, then yes. If best is money, then yes.
They are getting the best of our black men.
Yeah.
I just think we need to re-educate ourselves, re-inform ourselves, decolonize ourselves and our mentality, because there's a lot of value in the black race and in the black person. The fact that most people now, most females are deciding to go natural with their hair and not using relaxer is huge.
Amen.
The fact now that most people prefer to wear the natural hair and not wear a weave or weave-on or human hair, whatever they call it, that costs extra amount of money, and they love themselves and they look good, you know, is huge. I had to tell my daughter how beautiful she is to have her hair out. She has beautiful hair, but I as a father have to keep reminding her how beautiful it is. This little girl, she doesn't know how beautiful. I love her hair just out without her doing anything to it. Black people have to see themselves like that and accept themselves like that. And
Amen.
I'm telling you, nobody will have any influence over you if you do.
Yeah. Are white women getting the best black men? For the general idea, yes. It's not just white women. It is white culture. It is bigger than just the person that stands beside you. We've talked a lot about a lot of stuff. It always goes back to the core, the household. There's nothing wrong with dating a white woman at all. We're just talking about the number. It seems like it's just growing a lot faster.
All our successful
It's almost, we live in Los Angeles, California. It's
Yeah.
awkward to see a black guy with a black girl.
I'd be happy to see it.
It's awkward. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, really?
Like,
It's
yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
you know, but we're just talking about the number, and I think it goes back to what we talked about, the household. People just reminding us that, yeah, we do have value as well. You don't have to go outside of the race, because we've mentioned one specific thing. There are a lot of races. There are a lot more races that do not accept black coming in.
unless
understand?
you're successful.
Even when you are.
Oh, yeah, no. When you're successful, they will accept you.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
We can make that another topic,
That's not
but
true at all.
that's not true at all.
That's absolutely not true.
I want to add
Add
something.
something to your...
In my conclusion, I forgot to give our black brothers who are up there example that they should always look at before they jump or before they leap. And on that note, we will not call O.J. Simpson.
Oh my
Well,
God.
and
really?
for the record,
That's an extreme, man. Come on. That's
I feel like
horrible.
it's changed.
for the record, I have a daughter by a white woman, so this is not about white women bashing. I don't have anything against white women. I have a daughter by a white woman.
I love white
But
women.
for the record.
I love women. I love black, white, mixed
Okay,
in
thank you.
Jamaican.